Okay, so thank you for your interest from my side as well. My name is Christos Antonopoulos. I'm also from University of Peloponnese and I'm the second technical manager of SMART4ALL. This is a follow-up actually presentation initiated by the presentation given by Professor Keramidas. So in the previous presentation, we tried to identify what you should do. In this presentation, we are trying to identify what you should not do, what you should avoid, how we are doing it. Basically, right now, after more than 2 years in SMART4ALL, we have successfully conducted 6 open calls. In this context, we have received a lot of proposals, more than 60 or 70 per open call. So what we have done is aggregate all the review reports from our reviewers and analyzed the main negative comments, the main criticism. And we focused on 2 aspects. Criticisms that tend to repeat and appear in several cases, and negative comments which have led to significant loss of points. And we have grouped them, we have divided them in the 3 typical evaluation criteria that Antonio and George have clearly identified: the excellence, the impact, and the implementation. Please note that this grouping and this presentation concerns all 3 types of application experiments that SMART4ALL is funding: KTEs, FTTs, and CTTs. So all these comments should be brought in context with the KTE project and proposal. So some comments and some criticism are more important for KTEs and some are more important for FTTs and CTTs, which are longer projects, longer proposals, and more, let's say, complex projects. But still, we can get some pretty good idea and insights. If we start, for example, with the excellence, as Antonio also mentioned, the excellence is the simple part of KTE, because the idea is expected to be more basic. But still, a common mistake that we have identified is that the description of the experiment has a narrow view, let's say. It is too focused on the problem itself. When we overdo it, what happens is that we don't allow the reviewers to appreciate the possible potentials and added value of our idea in a broader perspective, or let's say in a wider picture. At the same time, we omit to place the solution system idea, whatever we are proposing, in close connection and comparison to the competition. There is certainly someone that is doing something similar, analogous, or competitive, and it is good to compare it with that. Another thing that we have identified is that the descriptions are in many cases very theoretical. You must always have in mind that SMART4ALL asks for technical solutions in specific technical domains like Internet of Things, cyber-physical systems, and embedded systems, as Nikos has already clearly analyzed. So we want practical implementations and we expect to see technical specifications. On the other hand, at the innovation level, let's say description, in many cases we have seen the comment that the description is not, or the project or the idea is not ambitious enough, or in other words, that the description is, let's say, too conservative. In this way, we don't attract the attention of the reviewers and we may lose some points there. The third point has already been emphasized by George as well, Professor Keramidas, which is to clearly identify why the specific organization, why the specific members of the consortium are the right members to fully and successfully address the challenges. Not just describe who you are, but emphasize why you are the right partners to solve the specific problem. Impact. This is the section where most of the most serious criticisms, the most serious negative comments have been identified, and here is where most of the points are lost. And now I will also reflect to another punchline from Professor Keramidas' presentation. Be precise, be distinct. In many cases, we have the same common. The market analysis is not distinct enough. The customers are not identified. The proposal does not mention specific numbers or target customers or why this solution is needed by the market. This is very important to be inserted in the proposal and in as clear way as possible. If you are an SME and you can put information concerning customer base and how this can be increased, this is also very important. And also don't overlook to put specific operational KPIs. This is also very important, and we have seen a lot of points lost in that respect. Then the competition. As we said in the excellence, there is certainly going to be competition to your idea. Be precise, who is your competition? What is the market that the competition has, and how well defended is this market? And in that way, be precise how you plan to disrupt this market share, or if you are targeting a different customer segment, as we say in this slide. Provide information. In a lot of cases where this is vague or very abstract, this is a very easy way for the reviewer to do a bad comment and justify the loss of half a point or 1 point. Information concerning the benefits, the economic impact, future projection of your idea. SMART4ALL, as Nikos said, is not interested just to give you money. We are very interested to fund what is going to be a success story after the end of the funding period of SMART4ALL. So we certainly, and the reviewers certainly appreciate if you depict a clear future projection of your idea or your prototype, your product, hopefully, and so on. Don't overlook this kind of information. It may look not significant for projects like KTE, but at the other hand, it's going to make you appear more when the reviewer is going to compare it with the other competitive proposals. And then we go to the implementation. This part is also something that, let's say, it's not that pronounced when we are talking about KTEs. Why? Because KTEs are very small projects of only 3 months duration. But still, for example, okay, let's say that we cannot indicate specific person months, or it's not very applicable. But we need, and you should pay attention to have a clear plan on how you are going to spend these 3 months. These 3 months are going to fly. The time is very limited. So you have to have a very specific plan, convincing plan on how you are going to fully exploit this time. You may do it at a weekly base or in a bi-weekly base, let's say, time schedule. But don't overlook to provide a clear, convincing timeline and how each partner is going to collaborate in this short period. Don't omit to put the specific information concerning the teams that are going to be involved, and even more, since we are talking about KTEs, the specific persons that are going to be involved. Since we are talking about very small projects of 6 or 8 Ks and 3 months, it is expected that a very limited number of people are going to be involved. So the profiles, the background of these persons should be really ad hoc to the project and to the specific objectives that you have identified. And finally, pay attention how you will distribute the budget of the project. As Antonio said, the payment is going to be following the lump sum approach. So we will not ask for many details on how the money is spent. But when you are doing a proposal, you need to describe a fair and justified way that the budget is going to be allocated between the involved partners and between the involved persons. And what we have seen here is that in many, let's say, negative comments, there is a clearly wrong allocation between the budget and the description of the workload, of the effort that the persons or the partners are going to provide. If you don't pay attention to that, then your work plan, your implementation is not credible, and you can easily lose this critical half a point that will make you either a funded project or a good proposal, but not a funded proposal. Okay. So I try to be very brief for two reasons. First, because as we have said, this presentation and this video is going to be sent to you, and it's going to be available through the SMART4ALL YouTube channel, but also because all these comments should be put in the context of the KTE proposal. The idea of this presentation is to give you a second tool. Alongside the presentation from Professor Keramidas, this is a second checklist. The checklist from Professor Keramidas is what you need to do in order to have a good proposal. This is a suggested checklist of what you should avoid. Hopefully, by combining these two, we will help you build a more competitive proposal. So this is from me. I hope this is helpful for you, and it goes without saying that we are open for questions, either online or offline through emails, our help desk, and so on.